sharing my screen, so I hope you can see what's on my screen. Actually, I'm gonna be using this, to help, because this is like an amazing topic, and I want you guys to understand. So you can't obviously understand what I've written here, but I'm gonna explain everything bit by bit. So let's go. What is DeFi? I know a lot of people have questions about what is DeFi, and today we're gonna answer them in my own way. That's why I put this stuff here to help, so that I'll make it simple and easy for anybody that sees this video to actually get a grasp of what decentralized finance is. So let's go. So hi, I'm Igu. Welcome to Tech Body Studios. Here we take complex cryptocurrency topics and break them into plain English for everyone to understand. Before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification to always get notified when a new video drops. Thank you. So okay. Well, there's a lot of things we're going to talk about. Okay, so let's first start from what are financial services. Financial services consist of savings, insurance, stock market, loans, etc. And as we all know, as of today, our financial services are completely centralized. That is, all services rely on a central authority or entity, example like the banks, to conduct financial services. And we all know this to be true. Maybe you have gone to take a loan from the bank, or you have gone to basically transfer money from somebody, like from yourself to somebody, or receive money. You actually go to a centralized authority like the bank, or the insurance companies that we have. So these centralized finance companies have risks because they're actually prone to mismanagement of funds. I know you have heard about how the banks actually operate for basically the rich people, and how they actually misappropriate funds, just like the government do. You know what I'm saying? It's also prone to fraud, corruption, to name a few, just like I've actually said. Now, that's the whole system behind decentralized finance. And someone was like, what if we could decentralize the whole financial system the same way Bitcoin decentralized money? With Bitcoin, you can send money anywhere. Like you don't need anybody's permission and authority. That's the same mindset that came with decentralized finance. So I'm trying to make this video as quick as possible. That's why I've written all these things, so it will help us go deep and fast into everything about decentralized finance. So what is DeFi? Short term for decentralized finance. DeFi is a term given to all financial services with no central authority. Like I said, nobody controls decentralized finance or DeFi. Now, for decentralized finance to work, you definitely need decentralized money, or the money that cannot be controlled by central authorities. That is where that is where things like stable coins come into place. But before we go into stable coins, let's first understand the layer in which a decentralized financial structure is built on. And it's written here, to create a decentralized financial system, we need an infrastructure and program that runs decentralized services. Lucky for us, we have different numbers of them, which are blockchains, but today we are going to be talking basically about Ethereum. But don't get me wrong, there are also decentralized finance services on other blockchains like Cardano, Solana, etc. But today we are majorly talking about Ethereum. So let's keep going. Okay. So ETH is more like a do-it-yourself platform, so that's why it can enable decentralized finance and decentralized services. So let's go into, just give me a minute. Okay, it's written here with ETH. ETH is done with, or ETH was programmed such a way that nobody controls the entity. You get what I'm saying? Nobody controls it. So it's actually code, smart contract code, written codes by people that have designed and designated special rules for the ETH server itself to run on its own without anybody coming to like control it, because that way it prevents things like fraud, changing data. You can't change anything. It has already, the way it has been constructed in the beginning, that's how it's always going to be. And even if they're not to change anything, unlike Bitcoin that you can't change anything, it has to go through something like a DAO where people will vote and decide whether we can change this thing or not. So that's pretty a good system, that kind of eliminates fraud and a lot of things that we are trying to push out from the old system of finance. So let's keep going. So just don't mind me, I'm reading from here and I'm also trying to, explain, because like I said, centralized finance is a topic that I'm trying to make you guys understand, and I don't want it to be confusing. So let's go. Okay, now, so to build a decentralized infrastructure, you will need money to interact with the protocol, just like I said earlier. So you ask, why don't you use like the normal cash that we have, or why don't you use Ethereum? People will be like, why don't you use Ethereum for DeFi? But the thing is that Ethereum is volatile and is subjected to going up and down. And when you go to the bank, your $1 or your $1 is your $1. It's not like today your $1 is maybe $2 or $3, and tomorrow is less than $1. So you need actually something stable to run a decentralized finance or a decentralized protocol like Ethereum. And that is where things like stable coin comes into place. Now, a stable coin is a cryptocurrency that is pegged 1-for-1 to the US dollar, just like we all know. And there are lists of stable coins, but today, we still talking about DeFi, we are going to list like majorly all the stable coins that we know, but I'm going to tell you about the most decentralized stable coin that is actually good for DeFi. It doesn't mean that other stable coins can't run on DeFi, but we're talking about decentralized finance here, so everything has to be, you get. So we have USDC, we have USDT, and we have DAI. Basically, USDC is controlled by a company called Circle, and USDT is controlled by a company called Bitfinex. But the last decentralized coin I called, or the last stable coin I called, which is DAI, is not controlled by any entity. Like, it's a programmable algorithmic coin, stable coin that's actually backed to the dollar 1-to-1, but it's backed by over collateralized assets like Ethereum and Bitcoin. So no matter how high Ethereum goes or how low Ethereum falls, the reserve for DAI is enough that will keep putting the peg or the price of DAI 1-to-1 with the dollar, which is pretty good. And to understand, when we're talking about decentralized finance, when you actually like put $1 of DAI in a decentralized pool, doesn't mean you're going to pull out $1. No, I'm going to get to that place, but I'm not trying to make you understand that. Like, it's a system that has already been created, so you have to like follow the protocols that has been laid down already for you. So as we go, I will make you understand that. Okay. So that is a smart contract built on the Ethereum blockchain. You get, and it's an amazing protocol because, like I said, nobody controls it. You can have access to as much DAI as you want. All you just need to do is know where to access it, which I'm going to tell you, because you also need a decentralized protocol to access DAI. So let's keep going. So now, to also create a decentralized finance system, as much as you need a decentralized, what do they call it, coin, or a decentralized dollar, that's the stable coins I've talked about, you also need decentralized services that will run this, that will run the protocol at the back end, so that you can, have access to money, you can have access to lending, you can have access to borrowing and all of that. And that's where something called DEXs come into play, decentralized exchanges. So decentralized exchanges, like our platform, definitely I will do a video about this, but these like, there are platforms that you can go connect your Web3 bank account and have access to get things like DAI, USDT, USDC, whatever, without anybody asking you for your no sign-ups. You don't need to verify anything. You don't even need to have an account. All you just need is your Web3 bank account, and you can access a DEX. Like I said, I will do a video on a DEX, a proper video on a DEX, so you really understand what a DEX is. But a DEX is just a place you can go and have access to funds, have access to anything you want. So, and also we also have like decentralized services that do things like lending and borrowing. That's where things like AAVE and Compound comes into place. These are protocols that actually connect the lender and the borrower. So you can either be a lender or you can either be a borrower, just like the normal financial system. You know, people put money in the bank and some people come and borrow the money. You get and will pay interest. So you can also be that kind of person on the DeFi side. You can either be a lender, you borrow money to a protocol, and the protocol will pay you money or pay you interest for leaving your money on the protocol for other people to come and borrow. And the people that borrow, they will still give them money, or they will still give them interest for borrowing money, but they will still have to pay a certain amount of interest when they return back the money. So it's smart to me, you get me? And all this happens without anybody in the middle. Like there's no centralized authority, there's no intermediary, just you and the protocols interacting, which is amazing. Definitely, I'm going to show you one of these protocols in this video. So that's why I'm trying to rush things up. And I'm not trying to make you understand what DeFi is basically. So now, what are the advantages of DeFi? Transparency, decentralization, is free for everybody and it's flexible for everybody. Like anybody can have access to it. Like you cannot say, okay, because you don't have this amount of money or because you're not this person, you can't have access to it, compared to the centralized ways of how we do financial services in the world generally. So, however, you should also know that there are risks associated with DeFi. You know, DeFi is actually in its infancy stage. So it's not like that big of a thing right now. So they are like in the process of writing the smart contracts, you know, the programmers may actually make mistakes, and this can enable hackers to actually get into these protocols and steal funds. So you should be careful. If you are definitely going to try this, you should try this with money, you know, that if you lose it, you're not going to actually feel so affected with it. But it's okay to also check these kind of things out. So I hope you understand the term decentralized finance and what it's all about. Like I said, basically is your normal financial system, just like decentralized finance, but this time there is nobody, no authority or whatever that controls it. Basically, you and the protocol, you just have to go and interact with it and do whatever you want with it. You can have access to DAI or whatever stablecoin on DEXs. Then you can go to lending protocols and services like AAVE and Compound to be a lender or a borrower. And you can also, there are also networks like Nexus that helps you get insurance on your DeFi currently. Like whatever money you have put, you can pay an insurance company to make sure that whatever happens, if there's a smart contract risk, that they will pay you back your money. So it's pretty nice. So let's go into my system and let me show you both AAVE and Compound DeFi protocols. Then we'll call it a day. Then subsequently, I will do videos on what DEXs are and probably how to ensure your the money you put in DeFi on protocols like Nexus. So I hope this is recording. Yeah, it's actually recording. Now we'll go into the browser, and to start this video, we are going to search for coin market cap. So why I started with coin market cap is because there are a lot of scam sites these days. So if you're actually looking for any cryptocurrency, You should come to CoinMarketCap so you get the right link to the actual crypto you're looking for. So then I come here and I search for AAVE. AAVE formerly was known as Itland in the beginning, but after a while, just like it's written here, after a while, they rebranded to AAVE, which has been a pretty good protocol since then. So if you look at my screen, you can see, if you look at the right, my left hand, you see a lot of money, $10 billion. So that's to show you that a lot of people are using these protocols. It's not, a lot of people don't know about it, but people are also using these protocols to make money because, like I said, because DeFi is still new and like a lot of people don't know about it, they will definitely give you more yield than you get on a normal centralized financial system. So it's okay to check it out, but remember, this is not financial advice. Whatever you want to do with your money, you should actually do research before putting your money in any protocol. So we're going to go to the launch app section, and then just like every normal crypto app is in basic UI, nothing really fancy, and it tells you connect your wallet. I'm going to, remember, for you to actually interact with apps like this, you need a Web3 bank account. I've done a video on that, and I'm going to link it up in the top right corner for you to watch it so that you can actually interact with these apps. Because without a Web3 bank account, you can't actually connect and use these services. So I'm going to click on the browser wallet and it brings my wallet for me. So I'm going to say next and I'm going to connect. So right now I'm connected. And if you look at this dashboard, let me take myself up here. If you look at this dashboard, when you're connected, you see something like this. So you know that you're connected. Your address pops up here. So you know you're connected. And it shows you the network which you're connected to. So when you come here, it shows you your supplies and your borrows. Like I said, this is just like a normal bank, but it's decentralized. Anybody can have access to it, and you don't need anybody to tell you what to do, because the smart contracts have already been programmed to like execute trades and codes the way you're supposed to go without like any fraudulent stuff happening at the back end. Now, when you come here, like I said, look at your DAI. This is your DAI. This is like the most decentralized stablecoin out there, but it doesn't mean you can't still borrow and lend things like USDC and USDT, even though they are not really decentralized. So now you can, like, there's no money here, so I'm not actually going to borrow or supply anything, but as you can see here, you can supply. For you to actually borrow, you need to supply. So, or you can just supply and earn here, or you come here, but for you to actually borrow, you need to supply something to borrow, because it works like this. You need to have something that the protocol itself will hold so that you actually pay back. You get, so you can actually supply your ETH and borrow anything you want here. You get, you can borrow anything you want here. So they hold that ETH as a collateral for your loan. So whenever you pay back your loan, then they release your ETH for you. It's pretty smart to me, if you get. So like I said, you can borrow whatever you want to borrow here that is on the Ethereum blockchain. So that's pretty much it. So let's also go to the next one, which is Compound. It's still pretty much the same thing. But I just want to show you the two UIs, and I'll also give you something, a bonus cheat sheet of where you can see all the DeFi protocols on Ethereum. So when you come to Compound, you go to compound.finance, and it's going to tell me to connect my wallet. I'm sure about that. Let me put this here. Let me reduce this. Okay. So as you can see, it's basically almost the same thing, basic UI. So when I go into the app, says connect with your Web3 bank account, and I connect, boom, and that's just the same thing. Like I said, they have the supply market and the borrow market. So look at the DAI, but like I said, it's the most decentralized stable coin, which is preferable to use in stuff like this. So you can come here, you supply and you borrow from here. And it's always advisable to check between these two to see which one gives like a better APY for your money if you're going to actually do this. So everything is here, and you just basically look at Theta, look at USDC. Like I said, just because they're not decentralized doesn't mean you can't perform DeFi activities on them. So these are the two big protocols on Ethereum that you can actually perform DeFi services on. Now, for the bonus, before I close this video, I'm going to show you guys how to see all the protocols, all the DeFi protocols on Ethereum. So you come to your web browser and you click on, okay, I already have it here, DeFi Llama, and then you go to defilama.com. Okay, wow, this has increased. So it shows you the total value locked in USD on all chains, on all blockchains actually, and currently it's at 58 billion. And if you look at this graph here, you can see that it has been going up. There was a time it was actually 1 billion, and it has been going up, and right now we are currently at 58 billion locked, even in the bear market. That's amazing. So actually, we're not actually talking about all chains. Like I said, you can perform DeFi on all chains that is already here. But we're talking about Ethereum today. So I'm going to click on Ethereum and take myself up. What's happening? Okay, it's loading. It's loading. I clicked on Ethereum, it's loading. So when you click on Ethereum, you see all these are DeFi protocols actually. Wow, my network is not nice. Oh, network is not nice. So, but basically, you understand when you go to defilama.com and you go to that place, you see different chains: Ethereum, Solana, Binance Smart Chain, Avalanche, etc. I don't know what's wrong with my network. I don't know. So just click on Ethereum. If you want to also interact with other chains, you can click on the chains and you see the amount of protocols that are actually there. And actually do your research before you use any one of them. Don't just rush into it. Like I said, DeFi has risks because it's still in its infancy stage, and a lot of things can happen that you will not even expect. So I hope this video helps you to understand the basics of a decentralized finance system and everything that entails with it. My network is not just nice. So if you like content like this, like, subscribe, click on the notification bell so that whenever I do Web3 contents like this, you always get notifications and you can always learn and see new things. Stay blessed and God bless you.